Welcome to another episode of Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ is Lord. Let's not waste some more time. Let's get right to it. So, there was a trade that took place in the 1993-94 season that could have derailed the Houston Rockets back-to-back championship run. Okay. The trade was completed, then it wasn't. Okay. So let me break it down. This actually starts back in 1993. Okay. When Sean Elliott and David Wood were traded to the were traded to the Detroit Pistons for Dennis Rodman and David Wood. Okay. So it was Sean Elliott and David Wood to the Pistons for Dennis Rodman. Okay. If I butchered that trade, I'm sorry. Okay. So Elliott gets traded to the Pistons. But it was reported that he didn't see eye to eye with Isaiah Thomas. Okay. And it was believed by some in Rockets management that Robert Horry wasn't a good enough scorer for the Houston Rockets to help them win. Okay. And yeah, here we go. Okay, so the Rockets thought he couldn't score enough, and they thought that he deferred too much to Olajuwon, Smith, Maxwell, Thorpe. There were some who thought that Robert Horry deferred way too much. Okay. And so they made a trade. Okay. Robert Horry talks about this in the Clutch City documentary. Robert Horry is like, you always hear things. You always hear things. He can't do this. He can't do that. Then Rudy T comes in and says, I'm very sorry, but we've traded you to Detroit. Okay? So, Robert Horry was traded to the Pistons along with Matt Bullard. Okay? Matt Bullard also played for the Houston Rockets. Okay? So, the Rockets and Pistons executed a trade that sent Matt Bullard and Robert Horry to the Pistons in exchange for Sean Elliott. All right. So that was the trade. So and I just said the reason why. Houston wanted more scoring. Okay. So Robert Horry was really depressed and down in the dumps, being traded to a terrible team like the Pistons, who were having a terrible whole year. Robert Horry recalls getting off the plane after the trade was made, and it was cold and it was snowing. Okay, so Robert Horry says one day he and Matt Bullard were getting dressed and getting ready to go out for warm-ups. Okay. Then someone from the Pistons came and told them, don't go out and warm up yet. Okay. Sean Elliott hasn't passed his physical yet. Okay. So they got held out as a precaution. and they sat on the bench for warm-ups. But then Horry said, can he and Matt Bullard sit in the press box, owner's box? Okay. And like I said, Robert Horry was depressed. He was down in the dumps. And Robert Horry drunk a few beers. Robert Horry drunk a few beers. Okay. And the TV cameras caught him slumped over. Okay. And the TV cameras caught him slumped over after having a few beers. Okay. And you actually see during the Clutch City documentary, Robert Horry was actually sitting in the stands during one game after the trade had been completed. And Robert Horry just had a look on his face like, why? 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 Okay. So, the TV cameras caught him slumped over. Okay. That's just how depressed and miserable Horry was about this trade that had happened. Okay. Then, Robert Horry's mom gave him a call because she was concerned about her son. Okay. So his mom knew that Robert Horry was not a drinker. Okay. Robert Horry didn't drink. It was said by Horry he was hurt, disappointed, and that he had a few beers. Okay. And I guess you can say basketball in Detroit in 1994, it was a basketball wasteland because they finished the year at 20-62. Okay. Even with Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars. Okay. Bill Laimbeer had retired 11 games into the year. And Isaiah Thomas, as it was described, it was the Grant Hill sweepstakes. Okay. They were in the Grant Hill sweepstakes. So they decided to not play Isaiah. And then they wanted to play this young kid and Lindsey Hunter, okay, who was a rookie back then. So they played Lindsey Hunter over Isaiah because, as Isaiah Thomas tells it, they were in the Grant Hill sweepstakes. Okay. So Horry went on to say, Mom knows best, but the basketball gods knew who better. Okay. So Sean Elliott failed his physical with the Houston Rockets. Okay. Sean Elliott failed his physical. And he ended up going back to the Pistons. And Horry and Matt Bullard ended up going back to the Rockets. And let's just say Robert Horry was a changed man from there. Robert Horry was a changed man from there. Okay. He played better after he was sent back to the Rockets. Was a key member, scored in double figures in 15 of the 23 playoff games in the 1994 NBA playoffs. So he was a big contributor. And I watched all 4 games of the 1995 NBA Finals, and he was critical. He was critical. He had some clutch 3-pointers in game 1. Had a clutch 3-pointer in overtime in game 1. So not only that, he also blocked Dennis Scott's potential game-winning 3-pointer to send the game into overtime into game 1. Okay. After Kenny Smith had tied the game at 118, Magic still had a chance to win it. But Robert Horry blocked Dennis Scott's potential game-winning 3-pointer. And Houston won it overtime on Hakeem's tip-in. But I think game 2, that's where Robert Horry was everywhere. He was stealing balls, blocking shots. I think he had 7 or 8 steals, which was an NBA Finals record. In 1995. Yeah, so Robert Horry defensively was everywhere. Blocking shots, getting steals, hitting three-pointers, getting dunks. And this is how critical Robert Horry was, okay? He also hit the game-winning three in Game 3 of the NBA Finals that helped the Rockets to a 106-103 victory. Okay. So in the 1995 NBA Finals, Horry averaged almost 18 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and 2.5 blocks per game. Okay. Nearly 18 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and 2.5 blocks per game. Yeah, I bet you the Houston Rockets are very glad that trade did not go through. Who knows what would have happened in 1994 and 1995 if that trade went through, okay? So, I'm pretty sure the Houston Rockets are thanking the basketball gods to this very day that trade did not go through. Okay? Unless the Houston Rockets probably would not have been back-to-back world champions, okay? Yeah, so. All right. That's it. That's all. Hold on. I think Little Penny wants to say something, okay? Little Penny, what you want to say?
Can you do that for brother?
Yeah, little Penny, I can do that. That's it. That's all, y'all. I'm out, y'all. God bless. I'm out, y'all.